So, what did you settle down, right? Settle down. So I can't believe this is a school, because maybe if my school looked like this, I would have stayed in school and actually, did work, passed exams or whatever. Who goes to school here? It's pretty impressive, but you just don't have a student union bar, which is really rubbish, because we all know that we get more creative after we've had at least a couple of shots of espresso, right, teachers? Yeah, that's what I meant by the bar, the coffee bar. Okay, so it really sucks to actually sort of sit here the whole afternoon. I really, Vanessa, should not have come when you told me to come, and sat through listening to everybody speak and take parts of what I was going to say. So you should have sent the email around showing everybody what I was going to say, because now they've said it all. So I've got nothing to say. Yeah, so it's ridiculous. I think I don't function very well when people use words and phrases, catchphrases especially. When you've been alive long enough, like I'm getting there, and you can hear the turnaround of phrases come back again to you, and they have a completely different meaning to what they were before. You hear, you gotta be passionate, you gotta find that passionate fire in the belly, it's all about passion. It's like, what the hell does it really mean? It's just like someone said today, you've got to think outside the box. What does it mean, think outside the box? I still don't get it. And some of my friends are heads of creative agencies, and I don't understand what it actually means. Does it mean trying to figure out a way around a brick wall? Because that's one constant we're always going to hit with. No matter what we do, we're going to be hit by a brick wall. So is that, figuring out ways to get around it, underneath it? What does it actually mean? So I get really confuzzled by all of this. And Ken Robinson is actually one of my heroes, so I watch him over and over again because I'm kind of the stalker kind of fan. I'd love to marry a man like that. I think he's funnier than Eddie Izzard. But I listen to him again, and I think about, we talk about being passionate, being creative, making a mark in life, because I think that's really what it means. I mean, I think Ezra put it the best. It's like, I think inside all of us, we want to count. We want to be able to do something that matters, maybe just to us, maybe that matters to more than one person, but I think it has to be something that matters, and we don't want, I think maybe the secret fear all of us feel is this it? Is this all I'm going to get? Is there anything more? Or, this can't be it! He dumped me, I lost my job! Which has happened to me loads of times. What am I going to do? Lying fetal on the floor of my living room on speakerphone with my best friend in a different country. But I think going back to that whole thing about wanting to make your life mean something, I think that's what it comes down to, and I think that's sort of where the seed of this passion, this creativity, this thinking out the box, this challenge, this doing something really comes from, because we're alive, and I think that's a really strange fundamental thing that people don't actually think about. We're alive. Right? We got born, we are alive, we have one life. Whatever religion you think about, whether there's reincarnation, whether there's nothing thereafter, whether there's hell, I believe sometimes we're actually living in hell right now, but there is only one life that we're going to know, and it's really hard to actually make that go from sort of intangible to something tangible that we understand, just like the word passionate, just like the word creativity, just like the word, whatever those catchphrases are that you young people use nowadays. I'll add lol into that. I still don't understand that. Because it's used in really odd contexts as well. It's not, laugh out loud anymore. People say it, and so I use it thinking I'm cool, and no one's caught me out of it. But I think most of my life I've spent being a fraud. I was the kind of student who was a delinquent, and I think that's part of the puzzle that I think everybody has to kind of retain. Be that delinquent, be that kid, be that 6-year-old who can get away with stuff or thinks they can and is just blind to the fact that every adult's watching them try to steal what they're trying to steal, and they'll still go ahead and do it. Kids do amazing stuff. I was at my son's school a few days ago, and I had to give a speech about my career. And that was really stressful. How do I explain what I've done? And so I decided that I would share the fact that I've done many things in my life, because life is like that. You can do many things, and that's what's so exciting. You talked about the void and doing different things, and you kind of spill into or fall into one thing or another. And so I sat there with these 25 6-year-olds, all sitting on the floor, cross-legged, really fidgety, and really kind of, is it time to go home yet? And I talked to them about what I did, and I said, one of the first jobs I ever did when I was at uni was, who's at uni here, by the way? Anyone at uni? Do you have a job?
I'm working on a project.
No, but do you have a job that you get paid for? So you're living off your parents' money that they've saved up for uni? Okay, you need to pay them back. Okay, because that's really important, because that's like taking charge and control of your life, right? So I had many jobs at uni, and one of my first jobs was to wash forks, spoons, and knives. And I worked for this mad Italian couple, and does anyone speak Italian here? No? Fantastic, so I can say this phrase that I learned and not get in trouble with the teachers, but it was like, no rompere mi cazzo finocchio. And that's what the Italian chef used to say to his wife, who was the Spanish chick who used to run the bar. And they used to throw things before the restaurant opened and after the restaurant opened. And I went to Kingston Polytechnic. It was still a poly back then. I wasn't smart enough to get into university. How I even got into that course, I don't know. And I used to have to polish them. I used to have to wash them in vinegar water. And I used to have to polish each single one, because if there was one smudge or drop or whatever, that was it, you know, the chef went ballistic. And so I was talking to the kids about this, and I was telling them about this, and so this kid goes, wait, so you are a washer-upper? I was like, yeah. Were you a cooker as well? And I said, yes, I was, but I burnt everything, so they kicked me out the kitchen. What did you do then? I was like, well, I waited on the tables. What do you mean you waited on the tables? Well, I was like a waitress. The person who comes and gives you the food. Oh, like mum. I was like, yeah, like mum. And then Jan goes, my mum does that. And I'm like, yeah, they know I'm your mum. All right? I should have learned to say settle down. So these kids are all sort of really can't believe. It's like, wow, you must be really old to have done so many jobs. And then my darling son goes, yeah, she was born in World War II. I was like, no, I wasn't. He goes, yeah, you were, don't lie. Cannot beat child in public. Remember that. So anyway, so I was talking to these kids, and they were flummoxed and flabbergasted. So I started to ask them. I was like, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? I hate that question when people ask me. I hate it, but I asked it anyway. Conversation. I was running out of things to say, you know. So they were like, oh, I want to be a doctor like my dad. I want to be a teacher like my mum. I want to be a writer like my mum. I was like, okay, what about really interesting jobs that you never thought were really jobs, but you'd like to do that? Silence. I was like, what about being an astronaut? You can't be an astronaut. I was like, well, you could. They exist. Oh. And then this young little thing that had hardly made a peep the whole, 20 minutes or so, starts muttering to her friend. I was like, speak up. What are you trying to say? What do you want to be? She goes, I want to be a designer of bows. Of bows. I really like bows. Bows in my hair, bows in my clothes, bows. I want to be the best designer in the world of bows. And I was like, fantastic. You can. It's a niche market. You're going to make loads of money out of it. And, she sort of smiled because I had no clue what I meant by that. But it was like kind of suddenly, all these kids were like going, I want to do this, I want to do that. One guy wanted to fix trains. And I was like, fix trains, not drive them, because driving's really boring. I've seen the guys on the trains, sometimes my mum takes me because she thinks it's fun, but it's really boring. You sit in the train, it just goes one way and then goes back the other way. And I was like, very astute. Because I want to fix them, I want to make them work, then I can build my own train and take it all over the world. And I was like, that's incredible, I couldn't believe it. So it was just, with a little bit of permission, suddenly this ridiculousness was spilling out. And I think that's another important thing, is to keep on dreaming, because even if your dreams are really ridiculous, it's actually kind of exercising that muscle in your brain that really needs to be exercised, because as you get older, you get more boring. And it's true, it happens, and no matter how much you read, or you just end up being the nerd who's spouting facts as opposed to really being excited about it. Talk to a kid about anything and they're like, oh, and then did you know Spider-Man? And the eyes are popping out, and oh my God, they're rubbing their thighs because they're so excited about everything, right? So that's how we need to remember how to kind of do that. We can do that in our brain, and one of the best ways to actually remember how to do this, it's my time. So much longer to go. One of my best ways to do this is if someone really pisses me off. Being imaginative in your brain about how you could damage and really hurt that person, but creatively, is the most amazing way, because you end up actually laughing as you go back, and then you call your friend going, okay, check this one out. And that became a tag game that I played with one of my friends, how to creatively maim, but still keep them alive so they really suffered. Games. So that, yeah, did you just say what? Am I scaring you, sweetie? No? Okay. At least I'm not boring you. Which is a really good thing. So going back to these kids. So anyway, my son is one of those kids, like the kid that Ken Robinson was talking about, the girl who couldn't sit still, she was fidgeting all the time, and we've had lots of problems. ADHD, he's problematic, he's got all this stuff. And there are a couple of other kids in his class who are kind of the problem kids as well. Now, I think I was a problem kid at school. I was not diagnosed with anything, but I was the kind that would write ransom notes using, the old school stencils. You were too young. You're older, you're like me. Right, those big stencils. I used to write ransom notes for my homework books. Yeah, no, it's a good thing to be old. We're good. We have wisdom on our side, apparently. So, I used to do that. So anyway, these are problem kids, and I with talking to my son's teachers, and I'm talking a lot about my son because I think it's really important here. These kids, they don't have a lot going for them in the eyes of the teachers. And I was very interested to know, because the last experiment that I did with the kids before I left was to record them being TV presenters. And they had to say their name and something they really loved or they really hated. And the 3 kids who were the most eloquent, engaging, charismatic, and interesting were the delinquents. Interesting, isn't it? All the good kids, especially the top kid in the class who was the smartest, he was always the one first to put up his hand and stuff, standing in front of the little mini iPad, not even a camera, and he was frustrated because he wanted to give the right answer and he didn't know what that was, and so he couldn't say anything, and you could see him getting so mad and frustrated and angry at me because I was putting him on a spot in an area where he couldn't say the perfect thing, whereas the kids who are kind of like, whatever, life is really cool, I'll say whatever, and I'll change my mind in 2 minutes. They were the ones who were amazing. I mean, one kid, Alec, couldn't believe it. All these other kids were like, I like this, I like miso soup, I like fish because it's really plump and fleshy and really good to eat and juicy when you dip it in soy sauce and all this kind of stuff. And Alec goes, I really don't like guns because they kill people. I kid you not. And so it was really fascinating to see this. So I think when you're talking about being passionate, when you're talking about something that really matters, you've got to make sure that the regrets you have in life are the ones that really matter. And the one and only, I've done a lot of bloody stupid stuff in my life. I mean, seriously. My father and I were just talking last night about the stupid stuff I used to do and got away with. Because that's what I tell my son. You do something stupid, you get punished, you take it like a man. Or you don't do it at all, or you're smart and you get away with it. But whatever it is, it's on your head. But I think the big regrets have to mean something. And my biggest regret was, when I was at school, I was very unhappy. I came from Malaysia, where I was pretty reasonable at all subjects, apart from writing stenciled ransom notes when I couldn't be bothered, and then Mom turning up at lunchtime showing the empty history book and me going, sorry, detention again. But my biggest regret was when I went to school in England, I got kicked out of my first school. It was interesting. And then I went to another school, and basically all the teachers were, you're not going to go anywhere. You can't do anything. I tell you what, Poppet, why don't you sign up for a secretarial course, learn how to type, and learn how to take shorthand, at least you'll have a skill to do. They didn't tell me to go and be a plumber. They didn't tell me how to be a mechanic. I was always interested in how things put together. No, it was learn how to do shorthand and typewriting, which I have to say, becoming a writer, having a column and all that kind of thing, it comes in really handy to be able to, thump away, like an elephant on the keyboards very fast. So I'm very grateful for that. But my biggest regret was buying into their story, buying into the belief that they, because they were teachers, because they were adults, knew better, and that I was stupid and I would amount to nothing, and so therefore that's what I should do, and so on and so forth. And I lost a couple of years doing that. Although I did choose a secretarial college that was in Oxford, so I could say I went to Oxford, which is always very nice. But I gave up on doing that. I couldn't. I found myself just after a few months there going, I don't belong. I'm going to scream and die. Surely someone can see that they've got to help me. There's something more in my life that I want to do, but I just don't know what it is. And it was terrifying. It was a really terrifying time. And so then I decided that I would go and study quantity surveying. At this point, you're all supposed to laugh. Does anyone even know what quantity surveying is? No? Okay, you work alongside architects to build buildings. It's all about, maths, money, that kind of stuff. Really boring stuff. And my plan was I really wanted to do architecture, but I didn't have the money to do that. And again, because I had jobs during university that was tough, and I had to transfer my grant and stuff. So I kind of thought, I'll sneak in this way, and then I go that way and that way, and I'll get into architecture. And the head of architecture was like, bugger off. You don't have the talent, you don't deserve to be here. So that was it, and then I broke up with a guy, and I just decided to fly back to Malaysia because that was a brick wall. So I'm rambling, and my time's, I still got time left, wow. So I think the thing is that make sure your regrets count, because they're going to be the reminders, really important reminders of your weakest side of you, the side that's going to let you down, which in my case was low self-esteem, which was don't let anyone dictate your story. If you're going to be an idiot, make sure that you make yourself the idiot. Don't let anybody else make you the fool. You get what I'm saying? Take ownership for that. Pay your parents back. All of you, pay your parents back. Right? It's really important because you're taking control of your life and you're not taking a system for granted, because if you're going to challenge a system, you've got to do things differently. And that's not on somebody else's dime. It's got to be on yours and your dime and your time. And lastly, before I leave, I just need to ask you, just out of curiosity, is there anyone doing one particular subject that they absolutely get a kick out of? Not that they're good at it, because you can be really good at something and not get a kick out of it. You can be really good at something and not be passionate at all. I know many accountants, my best friend included, who's very good at stuff, not passionate about it. So does anyone here do a subject that they've started that they haven't been doing from the earlier years of school, that suddenly you've gone bing? Subject? Marketing. It's very strange. What is it about marketing that you really like?
Because I told her.
3 minutes left. Right, then you can go for points.
I told my teacher that I don't like subjects that follow the system, like following steps like maths, accounting, all of this. So she told me that you like subjects that are out of the system, where you create the new system itself, like marketing and economics. So I like creating new stuff. So
I like that. Thank you. That was very succinct. Anyone else? What's yours?
World issues. I took it out this semester, never heard of it, and I just ticked it on the box when I signed up for CPU. And
Did you know about Singapore before school?
yeah.
And Thailand?
Yeah.
So you're talking about like the bigger world issues like Russia?
Yeah, we learned about conflict.
I'm teasing you, by the way. Horrible of me to do that. Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. So are you doing like A-levels?
No, maybe.
Is that like A-levels? Somebody help me out. It's been a long time. Last time I went to school was about 25 years ago. Is that like A-levels? It is? Okay. Okay. That's really good. World issues. Anyone else?
History.
History. What kind of world history?
US history. I took it just because I needed some subject to fill up my credit hours.
No, but you see, this is what makes the change in life. It's that dynamic thing. It's like you need to fill up something. You need a job to be able to go and buy that new handphone. And when you do these things and you open yourself up and you just take a step to do something because you have to, not because you love it or even passionate, it's like, I need a job, I need money. This is when it happens, right? So history. And what are you studying right now?
American degree transfer program.
No, I meant in history. What's the subject, that area?
New world, old world kind of thing.
You're still just getting into it, aren't you? Yeah, okay. Okay, for me, the thing that changed my mind, that kind of made me feel that I was a delinquent and it was okay, was Greek satire when I came across classical civilization. And I love that class. And I wish I could have done 3 A-levels in class civ because I would have passed them all. But I couldn't, so that's what happened. But I think that's the thing, is like you stumble upon stuff. And one thing that I used to do at university, and a lot of you are going to go on to university, is to sneak into other courses. I used to spend all of my time camping out in my friends' housemates' courses and stuff like that, just to feed my mind. Because back in those days, we didn't have computers. And we didn't have telephones and all sorts of things like that. So in order to amuse yourself, and I didn't have a TV at uni. So I used to sneak into different courses and sit down and listen. That's where I actually earned money making models for my architecture friends for their degree, by actually learning how to do stuff like that. So I think that was really interesting, because that meant I could drop the cleaning job, because I hated vacuuming that architect's office. He was really disgusting. He used to eat at his desk, and stuff would fall down, and he would just leave it for me to vacuum up and clean. So, terrible. So, okay, I'm going to leave this with you. Be delinquents. I think I think, the term "be hungry people" kind of is relevant here, but be delinquents and don't ever stop asking why. Be like that kid and, pay your parents back. Thank you.